Hello viewer, and welcome to your favorite show, First Foods First. I'm glad you tuned in. Now today we are going to do something very exciting, but first, my name, Tabitha Ochieng. I'll be your host for today. Lois is away shortly, but I know she will be able to join us in a short while. So welcome and enjoy. Now this is going to be exciting. So today we're looking at meals that you can carry, meals that you can prepare when you're on a journey, prepare for your children when they're going someplace so that you're sure you know what you're going to eat when you travel, or you're sure you know that when your children are going away, you have packed something delicious but also something healthy for them to carry. Vegetable turnover. That's going to be our first recipe. And so to make this, we are going to use one tofu. And I'm excited about this because we made this tofu. Okay? So we're going to use tofu. Of course, we make this from soybeans. We are also going to use, obviously, my spring onions. We're going to use spring onions to make this. We're going to have potatoes, and I've had them all chopped so that we go at it fast and really fast. We have our tomatoes ready, and we will also use the whole array of peppers, green pepper, red pepper, and yellow pepper. We have them right here. Now, together with that, we are also going to use a crust dough, which I have already prepared. And I want to just have you understand very quickly how to handle this. All you need are 4 cups of flour, and you also need half a cup of cooking oil, vegetable oil. To that, you only need to add half a teaspoonful, or maybe half a teaspoonful will just be good enough. Then you mix that all together. As you rub it in, then you'll add some warm water and mix it until it is nice and firm. When that is done, set it aside and let it rest for up to 30 minutes. Now, somebody may be asking, how is that still fast foods? Yes, it is, because when you're preparing for a journey or preparing for your children to go on a journey, and so you want to prepare what you're going to eat on this journey or what your children will eat on the journey. So 30 minutes, it will be resting. And while it rests, then you're ready to do the filling. And we've already looked at what goes onto the filling. And so I think right away we'll go ahead and light up our stove and get started. There we go. So the first thing that we're going to have there are, well, we'll do our tomatoes and onions together. Okay, so we'll just toss them in there. Our tomatoes. Wow, there. And the onions. The onions and tomatoes. I'm sorry. I think sometimes it gets hard to talk about these things. Tomatoes first, then onions have followed, and we'll just cover that up so that they steam up and steam up real good for a little while. And while we give it that time, I'm going to get the capsicum. We said the whole range of them, yellow, red, and green. Wow, that's going to look very, very colorful. Okay, so of course I'll remove the seeds, remove that in all of them. We'll remove the seeds. Okay. And then just chop them up. Ah, good. Okay, so we'll just chop this really quickly. And once this is done, then we will be ready to continue with our filling. And wow. Okay, so the red is done to give it the nice red color. We always talk about the rainbow, and whenever you prepare your food, just put a lot of color in it. The color, you know, comes with a lot of benefits because each of those colors have specific benefits. For instance, anytime you do green, you know you're talking calcium, but you're also talking iron. The red and the yellow will give you the beta carotene and many other benefits. So you need to have a lot of color. And you know what? You will only get these colors either in your vegetables or your fruits. Okay, let me check if this is done now. Ah, pretty good. Pretty good. So at this point, I will put the olive oil. Olive oil. And then after I've put the olive oil, I will now add the tofu, the big thing in this recipe, tofu. Okay? So as we've always said, you need just a bit of oil, not too much. Not too much. Okay? So that's the olive oil there. And I know someone is asking, this is strange. Why didn't I start with the oil? You know why? Because you don't want your oil burning. Now that's a secret I'm sharing with you. You do not ever want your oil burning because when it heats up, then it forms some substances that especially the cancer cells love. So the food may be good, but by burning it up, you give it some other problems. So that's why you want to first steam up your vegetables and then add oil. That way you don't give it time to heat up and smoke. Okay, so now that this is ready, so now we can bring in the tofu. And yes, so here is our tofu. I think what we have here may be a bit much, so I'll use just half of it. And yes, I think about half of it will be good. Let's see. Let's see. Wow, and the tofu smell is already there. Yep, that will be good. Very good. So as it continues cooking, now we will add, of course, a bit of turmeric. Now, I love turmeric, and I told you one of the reasons why I love turmeric is that it's an anti-inflammatory, but it also gives a very nice yellow color. What is more is the fact that you add this to tofu, and believe me, you'll think you're doing scrambled eggs. You look at it and see. It brings out a nice bright yellow color that just brings life to tofu. Yep. I want to do maybe a bit more. There. So now I have my tofu. It is getting cooked, ready for the turnovers. But before we finish this, of course, I'll do the peppers, the capsicum, the yellow, the red, and the green capsicum. And you want to look at this. It looks beautiful. Ah, very nice. All right, so that done, then I'm ready to put in my capsicum, the chopped capsicum now, yellow, red, and green. And then, of course, some salt. I will do some salt. Then the potatoes will come in and we'll just be about done. Okay, the salt. That much will be good. Then with that, we will just add the potatoes. And once we've done the potatoes, then we'll just give it a bit of time to soften, for the potatoes to soften, and our filling will be ready. Believe me, this looks good. But I'm sure it tastes even better. This looks good. So we just want the potatoes to soften. We will cover this and give it a bit of time. And while we give it that time, then we are going to now start preparing the dough for crust, just to roll it and make it ready for filling. Okay, so if we just turn low the heat a bit, then now we can quickly prepare the crust for our turnovers. Some people even call them pies, and yes they are, because what we have here is a pie crust. Okay, so now all you need to do, because this has rested enough, it's ready. All we need now to do is to cut it into small portions, very small portions. Yeah, like that. Maybe even smaller. Because what we want to do now is to just roll them all out and have them ready for the filling in. Okay, so I'll use just some flour on the board, and then as you roll this, now you're not going to make them as round as the chapati doughs. This one now needs to be a bit of an oval shape. Yeah, so you just flatten this out, but you do not make it that round. The reason is, when you're done with this and you put in the food, the filling that is just about ready, then you need to roll it over. Remember what we called it? Vegetable turnover. So you roll it over and sort of just cover it with this. But we'll just need to take a few minutes to wait for our vegetables to soften. So as that is going on, then we can prepare enough of these so that when we are ready, then we have to just put them in and throw them in the oven for just a few minutes. Okay, so we are done rolling this, and I think this should be ready. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So I'll turn off the stove and put some in. So we do it in small portions as we put our fillings. Okay, there. Let's have that ready. Okay, so what you need to do now is to just do a filling. So you take this in small portions, oops, don't run away, don't you? Yes, you put it like that. And then remember we called them vegetable turnovers. So at this point, you just want to turn over. Yes, turn over. Make sure you seal. Yep. Seal like that. And then once that is done, then you want to just make some interesting decoration. Use a fork to just make some marks around it. And it will look so wow. Somebody will ask, where did that come from? From your kitchen. From your kitchen, of course. So then once that is done, you do another. You do another like that. A bit more, lest somebody complains. Yes, like that. Remember to always seal. Yeah, seal. And after you've sealed this, then you turn it over. This is a big fat one. Yeah, turn it over and seal. And then just decorate with a fork. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Yeah, like that. So once this is done, and we're about done, once this is done, then you simply put this now. Yes, you just use a tray, put them on a tray, and you're ready to take them to the oven. Just that simple. Ready now for the oven. So we'll just arrange them on a tray, and we will be ready for the oven. All right, so we'll put these. The tray, of course, is lightly oiled, lightly greased so that they don't stick to the bottom. Like that. And you just arrange, and then okay, so this now is ready to go into the oven, and we will take a short break. Welcome to yet another interesting recipe that we are going to deal with now, and that is chapati rolls. Chapati rolls. Another thing that you can do to carry on a journey. So what do we need? We have chapatis that are ready. And to go into that chapati, we are going to have a filling. Our filling will have potato. We will use some potato. We will also use some string beans. Some people prefer to call them French beans. Yes, that's the same thing, string beans. And then we will do our range of capsicum. But for now, we will use just the red capsicum and the green capsicum. We will also use celery stalks, now without the leaves. We will use then our onions and tomatoes, of course. So we are ready to go. All we'll do is to chop, stir fry, and we will have our filling ready. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. So we'll chop our green capsicum, chop. Then the red, and just just about chop everything here. Imagine you're doing a whole dish and all you're doing is chop, chop, chop and stir fry. How interesting, how easy. Okay, our capsicum, again, the red ones now, we'll chop, 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 and what is ready will go into this bowl over here. Good. So after you chop these, let me see, that is done. I want to chop the celery and then get something going as I continue with the chopping. Yeah, I'll get something going. Wow, celery is so easy to cut. It slices very nicely there. Okay, so you just need to chop that and add to this. And at this point, we can throw them into a pan so that at least they start cooking. Okay, so we'll throw that. But ideally, everything should just be thrown in together. So there we go. That's some aroma already. You know, that's one thing I love about some of these things. Celery, it will always announce its presence. Yep, you put celery, you can't miss it. Okay, so that will be going on as we continue with more chopping. Yep, so now I can do the potato. Chop the potato. Aha! You know, when I'm alone in the kitchen, I love to sing, but I'm thinking of even what to sing now. A song just came to my mind. Sing them over again to me, wonderful words of life. Let me more of their beauty see, wonderful words of life. Yep. A bit more of this and we will be done in a minute. Okay, so as soon as this is done, I'll take it over to the pan. And then I'll have just the tomato and the onion to go. Okay. That is done. And believe me, this is the only job in this one. As soon as it's done, the filling is ready and we'll be able to do our chapati rolls. Chapati rolls. Oh, this, okay. The onions. Oh, what was that sound? Okay, this is done. I'll take them back there. And yeah, just the tomato. And we'll just do the fry. Remember, I think I've said this before, that you do not need to start with your oil. Why? Because you don't want your oil to burn. You really don't want your oil to burn up. So start with your vegetables. Then as they get hot, you put in your oil. That way you don't allow your oil to burn up. You don't want your oil to smoke. No, because that is not healthy. Now I believe just 2 tomatoes will do for me. Just 2 tomatoes and we'll be good. Okay, so once this is done, then we will just give it a little more time, but wow, this looks beautiful. I believe the taste will be just as good, probably even better. Okay, so, sorry, I was reaching out for my mwiko, and the color is beautiful. Honestly, you want to take a look at this. It is all very nice. Okay, so this looks almost done, and so at this point I will put a little salt. Yep, a little salt to this. Wow, I just love the way it looks. And then remember, not too much oil. I'm using olive oil, but like we've always told you, just a little oil, not too much. You don't need a lot of oil. Okay, so with that, then my favorite, a bit of cumin. Remember, now we're just adding flavors. The meal is ready. Yeah, a bit of cumin, and finally just a little black pepper. Very little black pepper, just to give it that little tingy taste as you do the rolls. So we'll give it just probably a minute and it'll be done. And as we do that, remember, we've used string beans. And why string beans? You know, string beans are very good for fiber. String beans are also very rich in protein, so that when you combine them like that, you have nearly all your nutrients met. But apart from that, there is also the folate that you get from string beans. Then now you add the benefits of string beans to the benefits that we get from capsicum, red and green that we've used. You also add that to onions and tomatoes, and this is a complete food that will give you the energy, give you the vitamins and minerals that you need, and you just have goodness. So you're on a journey, but you're still eating right, eating well. Yeah, I think this now should be ready. Let me see. Ah, it's done. It is really done. So I'll just put off the stove. There we go. And now get a bowl. I'll get a bowl to serve some small portions, because we need to do just a few at a time. Yeah. There we go. So we have that. I need a spoon. Okay. And one other thing I'll use is a toothpick. You wonder what I'm going to do with a toothpick. So now I have the chapatis ready, and we are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. So all you need to do is put a little bit of this a little bit of your filling, not too much. If you do too much of it, you may end up throwing some of it away. So yeah, you do just that bit. Now you need to make your rolls. You need to just do this, turn it like that, and then at this point the toothpicks will help us. You may even need to break that into two, and there, hold it like that, hold this other one, and we have our chapati roll ready, and you can wrap it in some cling film and just pack it. It's ready to go. We also did the vegetable turnovers. That is good. So in this show, we have done this, and I have been your host, Tabitha Ochieng. Until next time, I just want to welcome you anytime, any day. Tune in for First Foods Fast.